Hello, my name is Mark Burtman, and I'm here to talk to you about stroke recovery. Today is March 11th, 2024, and I'm almost 3 years away from when I first experienced my stroke symptoms on April the 8th, 2021. And then I relapsed again on April the 17th, 2021. And then I had a questionable relapse on October the 23rd, 2023. And there's some controversy. Some say it was a seizure, some say it was a stroke. Different doctors offer me different answers. So basically, what I did is we looked at the MRIs with a neurologist at the VA hospital in Memphis, and she showed me the pictures and spent some time and went over the findings. Actually, one determination I made is that my brain looks like Swiss cheese right now. Yet I'm still able to talk, still able to walk, and still able to lead a fully functional life. And I'm able to go bowling and do a lot of stuff. So it's not an empty life. I lost the complete use of my left hand at one time, and now I can use my left hand and even play a little guitar, occasionally do some push-ups. If I'm in the mood for it, I do still fall down from time to time, but I don't let it get me down. I don't fall in a way that produces injury, and I'm still going on. When I was in the hospital in 2021, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I didn't know if I'd regain the use of my left hand or ever be able to do much of anything. I started watching Bill Gasiamis out of Australia, who had an internal brain bleed from an arterial venous malformation. He has written a book, and he inspired me while I was still in the hospital, and I started making these videos. To read the title to you, The Unexpected Way That a Stroke Became the Best Thing That Happened. He had his incidents about 10 years before me. He bled into his brain. He was younger and lost the use of his left side also, and is now hosting podcasts, written a book, and still telling the stories of other stroke victims. So he was a big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Another person I saw when I was still in the hospital wondering what was going to happen is Tara Tobias, and she hosts Rehab HQ. She is a physical therapist in Florida, and she's always good for ideas. Even recently, 3 years later, I still listen to her and still use some of her advice. So I recommend you check her out. Anyway, looking at what happened, when you have a blockage in the brain or anywhere, that's called an infarct. They happen in the heart, that's a myocardial infarction. And in the brain, it's called a stroke. There's what happens is the tissues that are downstream from where that clot occurred die. And that is a form of necrosis. That's what death of tissue is. And in the brain, it's a liquefactive necrosis where the tissues basically dissolve and are carried away from an inflammatory reaction. And so that's why my brain looks like Swiss cheese, because I got holes from the liquid that was carried away by the immune reaction. When I had the stroke on the 8th of April, I got better initially, and then about 10 days later, I had a relapse and couldn't move my left hand again. Things that had improved got worse all of a sudden. And I think that's because of the inflammatory reaction around the site where the stroke occurred. I had liquefactive necrosis. And that's what happens. Your brain turns to mush when you have an infarct and certain tissues die. So those became holes in my brain that I can still have. Why did I get better? Because the brain will rewire itself. That is called neuroplasticity. And you have to work to develop it. I worked because I forced myself to improve. I started moving my left hand. At first it was kind of stuck in a fist, and I trained myself to open it slowly. And then I left the hospital eventually after 3 weeks. They wanted me to stay longer, but I said enough's enough, and I went home. A week later, I almost fell out of my doorway to my apartment going up the stairs. That could have been really bad. And everybody's going, why did you take that chance? The reason I took that chance is because it forced me to get better. Going up and down the stairs, forcing myself to move furniture and go on with my life got me better. A lot better than therapy did. They wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom without somebody carrying me into the bathroom or help me pull my pants down and do stuff that was, I thought, degrading. I didn't want to go through that. So I recommend sometimes you got to fight for your right to party. You got to fight for your right. Also on the other side is I have a new podcast now called the Cub Bears Fan Report. See my new Cub hat? I thank my wife Allison for getting that for me. And with all the support I'm getting, I'm able to do better. But anyway, the point is you got to use it or lose it. I've forced myself to use my left hand. I forced myself to learn to do push-ups. I'm playing guitar again. And I'm bowling again. I have to put all my weight on my left leg, which is my weak side. The whole key is if you're right-handed and your left hand's affected, force yourself to use that hand. Some therapies are to tie your right hand behind your back so you're forced to use your non-dominant hand. You got to use it or lose it. At some point, I want to thank these people who inspired me while I was still in the hospital. I hope one day maybe I can write a book on my stroke recovery. But I thank you for watching and ask you to watch my Cub Bears Fan Report and send me any letters, questions, emails, whatever you want to do. If I can help you in any way, the whole point is to help you get better like I did. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.